Hi, you guys. Welcome all of you to Human Anatomy. I'm Carol Hoffman, the instructor for your course, and we're going on this online journey together, and I'm welcoming all of you. By now, you should have looked at Canvas and seen a lot of what I've posted for you that should clear up much of what the format of this course is. So in this first lecture, I just want to dive into that first chapter and see where this takes us. We start out by defining anatomy and physiology. And anatomy has to do with form, and physiology has to do with function. So in a course like anatomy, where we have it separate, because many schools have it together, anatomy then is, we're going to be talking a lot about the shape of things, what it's named, what it looks like, and only some physiology, just to put it into context and make it more interesting as to, what is this liver doing? What is this pancreas doing? But we will be focusing mainly on what does it look like? Where is it? Can I identify it? And that's our anatomy. And it comes with a lot of memorization, because if you're going into the allied health, the line of allied health, which 99% of you are, then there's structures that you need to know the name of. You need to know how to say it, and you need to know how to spell these names. And so it's quite a journey the first time that you are encountered with this volume of scientific terms. Because of that, I have the little picture down there of the cartoon of her yanking her hair out. So my suggestion is not to take anatomy and physiology at the same time, because it is a lot of work, and best to take them each one in a semester. So what will you learn in anatomy? And I like to ask it when we were in person, what have you heard about this anatomy class? Because I hear all sorts of responses when we're in a classroom, not online. And some people say, I've heard that it's scary, I've heard that it's absolutely incredible, I've heard that it's a lot of work, I've heard that you spend a lot of time in the lab. So all these things are true. This is a course that does involve a lot of work, but what you learn is amazing. It's amazing when you finish this course. That's why we have so many people that are totally in love with it and stay back and help us by being TAs, and just they can't keep away. It is pretty fascinating, even though I must say so myself. The broad goals of anatomy, if we want to think of that, is to understand ourselves in relation to other living things, which is a functional comparative anatomy. It's very interesting when you start thinking of comparing vertebrates, mammals. Also, we're applying anatomical facts and concepts to pathologies, which is clinical anatomy. So in a more advanced, in a medical career, you'd be looking at clinical anatomy. And then we want to understand the human potential and performance through learning different body systems. This is what's so cool when we get to muscle. What can muscle do? How much force can it create? How is it able, with these little cells, how is it able to create all that force? So very, very fascinating. We will not be doing much of items 1 and 2 here, but you will understand this human potential and what these systems do. What do I expect of you is another good question. I'm just going to read this. I would hope that I can make you move beyond your regular interests and broaden your world. It is so amazing. The human body is so amazing. I'm still learning things about the human body. We all are. And it seems like it's a never-ending pocket of information that is fascinating and so relevant to your careers. One of the good questions here, let me move myself, I'm superimposed on Calvin here, is how to handle this load. It is big load. you're going to be listening to mini lectures. So like this one, I'm going to be recording all the lectures. And this actual PowerPoint presentation that I'm following along will be available to you. So you can definitely have access to that and you can see what I've been covering. You have a text, the Saladin text. I have it in front of me right now. It's here. It doesn't shine. And very important to read it, but the book is more comprehensive than what I cover, so you've got to be sure to look at my slides and see, well, she didn't talk about this, and if I didn't talk about that, skip it. I also give you the page numbers that you should be following along the book, so pay attention to that, because again, when I write an exam, I write it from my notes, not from the book. So the book is there to support you. The book is there so that you can read paragraphs in full sentences that make sense. My PowerPoints sometimes have one short sentence without a verb. And so I talk about it, and so that's how it gives it context. But when you want to read about it later, it's helpful to read the book. Very helpful. When I say read the book, though, don't just read it. It's not like reading a novel. You should take notes. And that's what's going to stick in our brains. Our brains, once you have sort of written something out or drawn something, it's amazing how you commit that to memory rather than just reading. So you can follow along those presentations. Making diagrams is very important. Anytime you need to draw something, draw it. I'm sort of learning to draw some other non-anatomical nature drawing, and I realize how I notice the detail in so much more detail once I start thinking about drawing it. So that's why I'd like you to do that too. Move myself out again here. Vocabulary lists are good. I'm never going to request those or give grades for those, but if you have trouble with a number of terms, write them down, make lists of them, and see if you can recall what they mean. We have an SI leader. His name is Adam. You've probably seen that also on Canvas. And he will be leading SI sessions, which are really good because it's a chance for you with your colleagues to go over this material. And Adam took this class previously, did well in this class, and is ready to help you and help you through it. My last recommendation is to motivate. I know you're motivated already. I shouldn't even be saying that. But Allied Health needs you. Oh my gosh, look what we're going through right now. You are needed out there. So go for it. Go for it with heart and soul. I'm always asked this, how to succeed. And this is just a quote that I liked from Lee Iacocca that says you have to put down on paper the 10 things that you absolutely have to do. That's what you concentrate on, and everything else, forget it. So if you're trying to take 3 classes and are working full time, it's not going to work. So we get lots of drops in this class, and not because they were incapable, not because they didn't have the intellect, it's because they didn't have the time. Time. That is the crucial word. Time to be able to sit down, make these lists and go over them and know them. So very important to have that time. Give yourself that luxury of a little bit of time that you can definitely focus on this course. It'll pay back. As you'll see on the other sections of Canvas, you have some work to do this week. You're going to be looking at directional terms. You don't say to the left of an organ, and you say lateral or medial, depending on this imaginary line that you have down the center of the body. So those are directional terms that you'll have to look at, and then also the body regions. And there is an assignment that you have that relates to that already. So you have directions in Canvas. You will get to that. there's a video I want you to see, and it's in the video section on external videos. And that's going to make you think about what your role will be in allied health, how it is that you are going to affect one patient, one coworker, or the field itself. How will you stay informed throughout your career to be able to recognize the fact that's such a problem right now? And we're suffering through the belief or non-belief in science. How well will you understand people that you work, your patients, and their bodies in health and their bodies in disease? So this is the video I want you to watch. It's a TED video by Dr. Verghese, and it's a really nice introduction to anatomy by a physician. And it's about how he goes through and looks at his patient and how he thinks about coming to a diagnosis. And I want you to watch that. So that's the end of these slides. I'm going to have a second mini lecture on some of those structures, and you're off to a good start in Module 1. Thanks for listening, everyone, and welcome again.